Hey everybody, today we are talking about Murder, She Baked, Just Desserts versus the book version, Strawberry Shortcake Murder. So this is book number 2 in the Hannah Swensen murder mystery book series. This is like the 5th movie, I think, maybe the 6th, and because of this, again, the timelines are not going to match up at all. If we're jumping all the way to the 5th movie, when this is only the 2nd book, then obviously there's going to be a lot more things that have been developed in the movie series at this point than the books. To start out with, our main plot point is still the same. Hannah is able to be a part of a bake-off. She's going to be one of the judges. They're going to be airing it on TV so everybody can watch, and she is a judge along with 2 or 3 other judges on this panel. And one of the things that she gets to do is she gets to have a little segment where she bakes strawberry shortcake. And so we have her doing this in the movie as well as in the books. She makes a little bit of strawberry shortcake and she has them try it out and taste it and everything. And that's kind of like the introduction to the bake-off. And so that's the same. I do have to say, at the beginning of this movie, it starts out very eerie. The music is very ominous. It's something suspicious might be going on here. And we have Hannah come home and she can't find Moisha, her cat. And so she's looking around and then she hears him and it sounds like he's in the basement. So she goes to the basement to like find him, and she hits one of the steps on her staircase and it causes her to trip and she tumbles like all the way down. And so she really hurts her leg. And then has to be on crutches and stuff for the first while of the bake-off. Actually, I think she's in the crutches for like the whole movie. But I found it like an interesting start to the movie because it's so serious and like she hurt herself. But then the very next scene after she's like, ow, it cuts to this like beautiful landscape and it's, winter time and like the music is just all like happy all of a sudden, and it just seems like such a random transition because it's like, wait, what happened to her? Like, is she okay? But anyways, we see that she's on crutches, so we know that it was a serious enough fall for that to have happened. And it turns out this ties into the plot later for like, oh, somebody's trying to hurt her deliberately, even though she knew that the staircase needed to be fixed. So she just was like, oh, it's probably just because I needed to fix it. When it turns out that it is actually, somebody actually did rig it to make it so that she would fall. Mike and Hannah have lots of moments in this. Norman is like, again, getting like shafted. He's like hardly at all in the movie again, and Mike's getting closer to Hannah, Hannah's getting closer to Mike, and then Andrea just drops this bomb that like supposedly Norman's like also starting to see other people too. Like, what? This never would my Norman do something like this. No way would he betray Hannah in this way to start dating somebody else. We clearly can see which way these movies are swaying us to for these 3 characters. And anyways, moving on, we start to get more people that are getting hurt or some weird things are happening, and they all happen to be judges, until at some point one of the judges does end up getting killed. The way that he gets killed is completely different from the book. Like in the book, he's at home in his garage, and in the movie, he's outside of the school where they are doing the tapings for the show. And he was like a backup, like a replacement for another judge that got sick. And so he originally wasn't one of the ones that was meant to be a judge, and he's actually a coach as well. And so he's extra critical and mean to all the people that are on the show. He's the one that ends up getting killed. And well, Norman is an assistant coach in this movie. He's like helping out, and so he happens to be there, and he's the one that ends up realizing that this person, who is not the same name as the book, they changed the names again. They changed so many of the names again, and in the book, his name's Boyd, and I can't even remember what his name is in the movie, but Norman comes and finds him, calls Mike. I think Hannah was already with Mike or something, because she ends up going there too and following him or going with him. So they're both there. And then there starts the investigation. Hannah does her little on the side sleuthing and trying to figure out who could have done this, and if it's connected to the fact that the other judge was sick and that she got hurt on her staircase, and maybe these things are all deliberate and it's just about the judge panel. She finds out that it's somebody that has to do with the production of the Bake Off. So it does make sense that it's someone involved in it, because all the judges were getting hurt. And so she finds out who it is, and then they have like kind of like a chase scene in the school. Again, all the names were changed. The killer was like found out in a different way. It was in the books, it's a very personal affair. Like, she finds out and she knows that the guy is like figuring out that she knows, and it has to do with footage that she was watching from the Bake Off, like background footage. She found something in that footage that helped her lead to who it really was and all this stuff. And she is gonna leave to go find people, but then he happens to be on set, and it's like just the two of them because taping isn't starting yet. And so they're in this situation where she's alone with this dude, and he's gonna kill her because she found out, and no one's around, and so it looks very bad for her. But of course, we have Mike's gonna save the day and save her from the situation. But again, all of this was so very different from the ending of the movie. And I guess the ending of the movie wasn't bad, but it made it out to be, in the book, this killer seemed a lot more ruthless and a lot more angry and willing to finish her off. But in the movies, he seemed a lot more desperate and scared and not wanting to hurt anybody else. And so the angle and the idea behind the motives and stuff, it was just different. And so here we are again, gonna get two pretty different experiences if you read the movie, if you read the book, or if you watch the movie. Yeah, I mean, really the only part that stays true, the truest thing, is just the fact that there is a bake-off, and the fact that she does make strawberry shortcake at the beginning. But then after that, it's just like, you know, we don't really see the shortcake again after that. And so it's there, but it's not really there. So I also disliked this movie. I mean, I didn't hate this movie, but because of how different it was and because of the direction that they're going, they ended the movie with Mike and Hannah just being like, what are we doing? I mean, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to like, let's do this. And so they like get engaged at the end, and I'm like, what's happening? Like, no, what happened to Norman? Come on. And so at this point in the book, like, this is the 5th movie, 2nd book, but in the timeline of all the books, the one that I'm on currently, she still hasn't chosen anybody. And so the fact that she's choosing Mike in the movies makes me feel like this is showing us that maybe that's what's going to be happening in the books. And so I'm going to keep reading and see if it actually is true in the books. And yeah, so we had this like side story in the movie where she met with this girl who ends up being his late wife's sister, because Mike was married at one time and lost his wife, and that was kind of holding him back from being with Hannah. But he realizes that he shouldn't do that, and he's not going to like tarnish the memory of his wife if he decides to move on. It's been like 3 years, and so and the sister was saying, yeah, you really, like, she would want you to be moving on. She would still want you to be happy. And so we have that little information to know why he hasn't done anything yet, and why he decided to finally take the plunge and like propose to her. So anyways, that is some differences and some similarities to our book and our movie. Murder, She Baked, Just Desserts is what they called it, instead of Strawberry Shortcake Murder, since they didn't even use that dessert very much in the film anyway. And The next, I think the one that comes after this, they've started changing the name. They're not calling it Murder, She Baked anymore. They're just calling it Hannah Swensen Murder Mysteries, and then whatever the name of it is. And so this is where it's really starting to change a lot. And I'm expecting it's going to continue in this strain of just they're their own thing and the book is their own thing. And it's not, there's going to be less and less similarities. I feel like that's what's going to end up happening, but we'll find out in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.